All right, welcome back everyone to another deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking into this really, really interesting story about this chef, Chef David,
Uh-huh.
and how he kind of went from just someone who loved cooking at home
Yeah,
to building this like six-figure business.
exactly.
So we've got some excerpts here from, I guess like a little biography on him,
Yeah.
Chef David, from shy cook to culinary entrepreneur.
Nice.
So we're going to be pulling from that, and we're going to kind of like see if we can figure out how he did it, right?
Yeah. It's fascinating because, everyone loves food, or most people love food,
Right?
and so many of us love to cook at home. So this idea that someone took that passion and actually made it into a successful business,
Yeah.
I think that's something that's going to resonate with a lot of people listening.
Absolutely. And, I think one of the things that really stood out to me at the beginning of this piece is how they talk about how he had like really bad social anxiety, actually.
Yeah.
And so cooking was like his thing, right? It was like his place where he felt comfortable
Yeah.
and he could be creative. But, he did have this desire to share his creations with more people.
Right.
So I'm curious, like, what was it? What was that spark that made him decide to actually put himself out there online?
Well, according to the bio, it seemed like a pretty random encounter, actually. He stumbled across a video of some culinary influencer, and that just sort of opened his eyes to the possibilities. It's like,
Mhm.
wow, people are really doing this, sharing their passion for food online and actually building a career out of it.
Right, right. And it's interesting because, like, I feel like everyone's always trying to find that, like, niche, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he honed in on this idea of doing, like, gourmet meal prep for busy professionals.
Smart.
What I thought was so smart because, like, I mean,
Yeah, it's a huge market.
huge market. Everybody's busy.
Right. Who has time to cook these days?
Exactly. So he starts building his brand, Chef David's Kitchen, starts putting himself out there. But then he did something that I thought was kind of like a bold move. He actually started talking about his social anxiety pretty openly.
Hmm.
What did you think about that?
I think in a way that vulnerability is what really drew people to him. Instead of trying to project this perfect image, he was real.
Right?
And I think a lot of people, especially online, they crave that authenticity.
Absolutely. And it probably makes him more relatable, right?
Totally, totally. Like, hey, this guy's just like me. He gets it.
Exactly. Okay, so he's being authentic, he's putting himself out there, but it's not just random, right? Like,
Yeah.
he was very strategic about how he used different social media platforms.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he didn't just like throw spaghetti at the wall and see what stuck, right?
Yeah.
He really thought about how to leverage each platform for what it's good at.
Right. Like, how did he approach, say, Instagram versus something like TikTok?
Okay, so on Instagram, it was all about visuals, right?
Yeah.
High quality photos, beautiful plating, making the food look almost too good to eat.
Right. So, like, the aesthetic.
Yeah, the aesthetic was key. But then on TikTok, it was all about like short, catchy videos.
Oh, right, right.
Quick recipes, fun cooking tips, even using some of those trending sounds and challenges.
To get those views.
Exactly, to boost his visibility. And then on YouTube, he could go more in depth, right? Like
Yeah.
full on cooking tutorials, longer format videos, stuff like that.
Oh, that's so interesting. So basically hitting every angle.
Exactly. Meeting people where they are on the platforms they're already using.
Smart, smart. Okay, so he's building his brand. He's got the content strategy down. But there's this point in the biography where they talk about cam chefs.
Ah, yes.
And this seems like a real turning point for him in terms of like actually making money, right?
Absolutely. So Cam Chefs is essentially a platform that connects chefs with customers who are looking for like meal prep services and online cooking classes.
Oh, okay.
So it provides this whole infrastructure, right? Like he can list his meal prep menus, manage orders, even host virtual cooking classes, all through Cam Chefs.
That's amazing. So it's like they take care of all that like back end stuff so he can focus on the cooking.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It really streamlines the whole process.
So it sounds like cam chefs are really like instrumental in him actually turning this into a legitimate business.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he was able to go from like cooking in his little apartment kitchen
Wow.
to hiring a team of chefs and eventually opening a commercial kitchen.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty inspiring, right? Like it shows you the power of these platforms in the food world.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And it's crazy to think about, right? Like he went from this guy who was like too nervous to even talk to people
Right. Right.
to leading a whole team of chefs.
Leading a team, building a brand. It's a huge transformation.
It really is. But, it's clear that his impact goes beyond just the food, too, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one thing that really struck me is how he talks about the importance of community.
Yeah.
Like, he made a point of partnering with local farmers, featuring their produce in his
Which
meals.
is awesome.
Right. Supporting local businesses, highlighting fresh ingredients. It all ties in.
Yeah. And I remember reading something about him working with fitness influencers, too.
Yes. He teamed up with them to create healthy meal plans, which, broadened his reach even further.
Right, like tapping into a whole new audience.
Exactly. So it's not just about the food, it's about, like, a lifestyle, right?
That's interesting.
He's promoting healthy eating. He's empowering people to cook. He's built this whole community around his brand.
Yeah. So it's like he's like selling an experience, not just food.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what people connect with, right?
That makes total sense.
It's about more than just what's on the plate.
Right. So, wow. I mean, Chef David's story is pretty incredible, right? Like, he overcame this huge personal challenge
Yeah.
with the social anxiety, and he managed to not only build this successful business,
Right?
but also, like, create this whole community around food and healthy living.
And, I think it's a really powerful message for anyone listening who might have a passion, but, maybe they're scared to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
Like, think about what Chef David was able to achieve. If he can do it, anyone can, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just inspiring to see how someone can take something they love
Mm-hmm.
and turn it into something so impactful.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it all starts at that first step, right? Like, what's that one thing you can do today to get a little closer to your own version of Chef David's kitchen,
Ooh. That's a great question to ponder.
It is.
Well, thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive. And remember, knowledge is power. And hopefully, this has given you a little bit of both. We'll see you next time.